All right, in this explainer, we're going to talk about building something called the architecture of contentment. And we'll do it by digging into a really powerful story about navigating one of the hardest and, let's be honest, most universal human emotions. Let's get into it. Okay, be honest with yourself for just a second. Have you ever felt that quiet little sting when a friend, a coworker, or maybe even a family member gets something you really wanted? Of course you have. It's a deeply human feeling, and it's right at the very heart of the story we're exploring today. So our story is all about two sisters, Amina and Hira. And while they might live under the same roof, they're living in completely different inner worlds, Worlds that are shaped by all these feelings that nobody ever really talks about. And here's the core dynamic. You've got Amina, the older sister. She's the responsible one, always patient, always dutiful. Then there's Hira, the younger one, who is the praised. She's the one celebrated for her charm and her natural talent. So one sister is defined by her quiet actions, while the other is defined by the loud praise she gets. And this quote, wow, it just cuts right to the heart of what Amina is feeling. It's not that she's angry with her sister. Not yet. It's this idea that every single time Hira is built up, Amina feels like a tiny piece of her is being quietly taken away. It's like this internal, really painful math of self-worth. And a feeling like that, it doesn't just stay small, it grows. So when Hira gets accepted into a big, prestigious university, the celebration in the house just makes that quiet weight in Amina's heart feel so much heavier. This is really the moment where comparison starts to fester. And boom, the comparison trap is set. As Amina is standing there in the background of the party, forcing a smile, her mind is just erasing. She's thinking, but I worked just as hard, maybe even harder. She's officially started measuring her own path against Hira's. And, comparison is like a superhighway straight to self-doubt. That question, why not me? It just starts to echo in her mind. She begins to question her own value, her own efforts, whether she's even worthy. And this whole downward spiral leads to the most difficult feeling of all, resentment. And what's worse is that it's aimed at her own sister. Amina hates feeling this way. It makes her feel so small, so ungrateful, and just spiritually distant. But just when Amina feels completely lost in all this, a really pivotal moment arrives. Her mother notices her silence, and she creates this safe space for Amina to finally confess what she's feeling. And the advice she gets back? It isn't a scolding. It's a simple, profound truth that changes absolutely everything. This is such a powerful reframe. Her mother doesn't shame her for feeling jealous. She actually validates the emotion. But she points out the real danger, holding on to it. The problem isn't the feeling itself. It's the choice not to seek a spiritual solution. And just like that, jealousy goes from being a moral failure to a spiritual challenge. And this is the solution she's offered, Rida, which means contentment. It's that deep peace that comes from accepting the divine plan. But listen, this isn't just passive resignation. It's an active trust that your unique story is being written with perfect wisdom, even the parts you can't possibly understand yet. Now, contentment isn't a switch you can just flip. As Amina is about to find out, it's an active practice. It's all about consciously building a new, healthier response to other people's success, and maybe more importantly, to her own inner monologue. So what did she actually do? Well, her practice really broke down into 3 powerful steps. First, she shifted her prayer. Instead of asking for what Hira has, she started asking for help to love what she had been given. Second, she learned to bless, not resent. Whenever she heard praise for Hira, she would actively say, Allahumma barik laha, oh Allah, bless her. And third, she started to consciously recognize the unique, often overlooked blessings of her own path. And you know what? It started to work. Her whole focus began to shift. Instead of seeing what she lacked, she started to see what she had in abundance. These qualities like patience and inner strength, things she'd totally overlooked before because they didn't come with a round of applause. And then you get the true turning point. Hira, the one whose life seemed so perfect on the outside, comes to Amina for support. She reveals her own deep struggles with pressure and anxiety. In that single moment, Amina realizes that the blessing she envied so much came with a burden she never ever saw. And that quiet strength she had been building, it was exactly what her sister needed most.
So you see, Amina's jealousy didn't break because her circumstances changed. It broke because her perspective completely changed. Her journey reveals this universal lesson, how important it is to trust the unique path that has been written for each and every one of us.
So let's just break down the core lesson here. At its root, jealousy really comes from a scarcity mindset, right? Believing that blessings are limited. Contentment, on the other hand, is returning to a place of trust in a divine plan. It's knowing that what Allah gave you is meant for you, and what He withheld from you, that's also a form of mercy. And what He gave to someone else, it doesn't reduce your share one single bit.
And that leaves us with one final, really powerful question to think about. Amina's incredible calm was forged in the absence of constant praise. So think about your own life. What if the very thing you feel was withheld from you is actually the thing that's shaping your greatest, most needed